So I'm very happy that we have one of my dearest friends and one of the sung ideologues, very learned, Shri Ratan Sharda ji with me to discuss on Hindutva. But we will not be taking much time, maybe about 30 minutes or so, and then remaining 15-20 minutes, we will give it for discussion because we want discussion points to emerge. All of us know, I need not tell the learned audience, that Hindutva is the way of life of Bharatvarsha. This is the very soul of this great civilization. You know, it is a way of life evolved over centuries and centuries of experiences lived by our ancestors. And all of us know Hindutva has unique methods, unique ways of life. We all know about Vasudeva Kudumbagam. In Tamil, we call it Yadum More Yavarum Kelir. We treat everyone, every being, living, non-living being, as our own. Bharadiyar said, Kakai Kuruvi Engal Jadi, Nel Kadalum Malayum Engal Kotam. Even small insects are part of our community. Seas and hills are part of us. So all of us know this, and we treat everybody as equal. Perapokkum ella uyirkum. And the Hindutva is for the well-being, happiness for everyone. எல்லோரும் இன்புற்றிருக்க நினைப்பதுவே அல்லாமல் யாமொன்றறியேன் பராபரமே. So this is how the unique experiences of our ancestors' lives have evolved into this Hindutva thought. Hindutva is nothing but Hindu-ness. But unfortunately now it is being largely used in political life with negative connotations. So I want Ratan Sharda ji to explain this.
I shouldn't be wasting time, my time on last session, but I must say that Yadavji actually illustrated how spiritualism is the highest form of courage. Without spiritualism, you can fight, but you cannot fight with the Atman. And the way he saw himself, living or dead, and the way he experienced everything, I think that is the crux of our philosophy, vis-a-vis what others say. For others, what you win in war is your own property. In our case, as you saw, the Swapnilji said that how we respect women. She is not Male Ganimat. She is not meant to be used as slave, but respected like mother. So the both of them, in fact, encapsulated the very feeling of Hindutva. Also congratulate Shefali to control her tears the way they were speaking. It was really very touching. Coming to my own topic, as Kanakji has said, see, I ended up writing 6 books on RSS. 3 are here which cover basic different facets of Hindutva. But Kanakji has put it in 3 sentences. So either you read all the books to understand Hindutva, you will not understand. Or you just see the essence of what our life is, what our lifestyle is, what our way of life is, you will understand what is Hindutva. Basically, the very essence of our Hindu dharma, our thinking, that is what is Hindutva, is essence of our thinking or the behavior that we have, which is very distinct from other civilizations that we know of. And we are the only people who worship motherland as a Devi. And that's why Rangahari ji, veteran RSS Pracharak, used to say, we are not patriarchal society, we are matriarchal society. And of course, people from Kerala know that how we respect motherhood. So we are the only people who personify the motherland as Devi and worship her. And that is the reason we have very different outlook to life. Now, I would say, I would like to have more discussions than question answers. So there are some common features to all the religions in Bharat. Hindu is not religion, but there are many religions under it. So the common features of way of life is that we आप तो आ गए टाइम पे, आपका साहब ही पैनल. So one is that we believe in karma, whether it's any sect or any religion of Bharat, where we believe that karma is very basis of our life. What we do comes back to us within the same lifetime or the next lifetime. We believe in rebirth, whether Sikhism or Shaivism or Shaktism. We can keep on niggling about small things, but ultimately these two things define us. The way every philosophy, Buddhism, Jainism talks about it, we talk of moksha, nirvana, shunya, which is again common to every philosophy that has risen out of this land. And we worship nature. As I said, why we worship nature? Because we know our existing itself depends on nature. It is not superstition. It is actually we know that if nature is there, we are there. That is the reason our farming lasted more than 10,000 years. Our land didn't become arid, but the Western way of farming had destroyed the farming lands within 200 to 300 years. And so when we talk of this, when we talk ekam vipra bahuda vadanti, very commonly used that we respect all the thoughts. We say that every thought ultimately leads to the same truth, or every stream leads to the same sea. This is very different from other philosophies, we can say Abrahamic philosophies. We don't say that ours is the only way. We say your way is also open. But the Western philosophy, the Abrahamic philosophy says that's either my way or highway. So if you don't believe in my religion, my prophet, my God, then you are a kafir or you're a sinful person, so you will go to hell. So to save you from hell, I must kill you, I must convert you, I must take over land, you are a property. So this is the basic difference where we say that we are inclusive, others are exclusive. So if you understand these parts of the Hindutva, we understand why all the charges of Hindutva being reactionary, Hindutva being communal doesn't work. And as we go further, there are many things which don't even fall in the gamut of religion, but fall in the gamut of culture. Now the culture I talk about is culture which is common to all of us. You don't see it easily, but it is whether a Hindu or a Muslim or a Christian, we follow certain things irrespective of the faith we have. For example, when we go to a shop, the shop fellow gives you something on the top of what you already bought. You know, in Hindi we say runga dal do. In fact, in my book, I have quoted Hari Ji where every language has a word for it. So you buy vegetable, you put some mirchi, some adrak on the top of that. If you go to a shopkeeper, not the modern shop, super malls, shopkeeper typically, who will put another some part of the dal over the top, he will put something extra. Thinking is that when I'm doing trade with the customer is God. So if there is an error should be on my side, not on the side of the customer. And this is only in Indian subcontinent. Nowhere else in the world this happens. Again, if you go to any shop, we worship balance. We worship our equipment of production, whether it's machine, whether it's equipment in the farm, because we respect the means of production, we respect from where we earn. So if you go to any shop, generally if you go to a shop, traditional shop, you will not sit in the chair that the owner sits in. It is called gaddi. It is Lakshmi's gaddi, Lakshmi's chair. So only the owner will sit there. And if somebody forces you to sit on his chair, that is the ultimate respect that person has for you. You also see that when somebody comes on the stage, any artist, any religion, he will touch the stage very reverentially, because for us, drama, dance, music, everything is ultimately way to God. So that is the respect you go to stage. Or if you go to even games, our games are traditionally, every part of the Bharat has same games. We know that we put stones in the center, we break it with the ball. That is typical Indian game. Nobody else plays it. Kho-Kho, only India plays it. Kabaddi, India plays it. And why we are different? Only in our game there is Punarjanma, right? So in Kho-Kho, if you catch somebody out, he can again get a rebirth when you kill another person, right? Now this sense of rebirth is only in our case. All these cases, there are no rules, there is no Olympic committee, there is no book, but we follow the same rules from Nagaland to Kerala, from Kerala to Punjab. This is the kind of cultural unity that we don't really appreciate. And there's nothing to do with religion. So when we say Hinduness, we talk of those qualities of our population of this country which are common to all of us, and these make us unique. And when we preserve these qualities, that is when that because if these qualities are lost, the world is lost. We are the only civilization which says everybody has a right to live, every thought has a right to live. All the wars that are fought over last hundreds of years are all because of religion or because of sense of superiority. So every cult, whether it's communism, they killed 11 crore people, whether it's Islam, who have killed crores of people, or even Christianity before they became civilized. They have killed thousands and lakhs of people just because you don't believe in their way of thinking or their ideology. While in our case, our people went all over the world, right from Java, Sumatra to Mexico, China, you will find Ganesha, you will find Vishnu, you will find various murtis, Hanumanji, in Iran, Iraq, 5,000-year-old, 3,000-year-old. So he went there, our merchants went there, they established their culture without killing anybody. So those people who joined us, they become part of Hindu stream. So you have Hindu temples in Afghanistan even today, though they try to destroy everything. Today somebody is asking me, why do they destroy the assets or the memorials or the knowledge system of the old civilizations? It's not just India, Africa, Europe, because they don't want anybody to believe that there are people who knew something before them. So in Islam it is called Jahiliyat, that is ignorance. Now they think that anybody who doesn't believe in Allah is ignorant. So they destroy every sign of civilization before they came there. So in Saudi Arabia to find the old temples is impossible. Similarly in Christianity, most of the places they have tried to destroy everything. Something was saved by oversight. So that is how you can link the civilizations. So from a civilization which nurtures others, doesn't destroy them, that is Bharatiya civilization. And one that destroys every other religion or every other knowledge system because they fear the other knowledge, or they in fact rob that civilization, this knowledge to name as their own. So if we are not there, Hindutva is not there, it is not good for the world. So it is not just for us that we are preserving Hindutva, we are preserving Hindutva because this sense of tolerance and respect and let everybody bloom will not happen unless Hindu thought is there. That is the reason Modi is again and again called to bring in peace. It's not possible because the people who call for peace are actually themselves out to create some kind of falsehood of thinking of falsehood that they are superior. This sense of superiority and respect for others is what will change the world, what will save the nature. That is why I need to preserve Hindutva. And Kanagasabapathi is very good at economics. I'll just say that our economics is different because we don't believe in just artha and kama. We also believe that artha and kama have to be gone through with dharma so we can reach moksha. So this is the difference between our economic thinking and the global economic thinking. With this, I'll close my remarks and ask Kanakji to take over.
Thank you.
We'll take question after that.
In fact, what you mentioned, the last point is very, very important. You know, in India, we have this concept called dharma, dharmic economics. Even though we may not realize it, in Tirukural, there is a separate chapter on how to earn wealth, porul sayal vagai. In fact, in different languages it is there. One of the Tirukural say, Araneenum inbamameenum tiranarindhu teedindri vanda porul. If you earn wealth through dharmic means, proper means, it will give you satisfaction as well as aram, dharmam. So this concept is there only in Bharat. And here I have to mention that this Hindutva is not just a philosophy, not an earlier concept. It is there right in front of us, even though we may not be able to realize it every time. In fact, respect for my motherland, even though I belong to Sangha family, increased 1,000 times after I started making field studies. You know, even today, India, Bharat is what is today is because of our Hindutva background. Whether you take savings, whether you take finance, fund mobilization for entrepreneurial activities, whether you take entrepreneurship, Whether you take any other activity in India relating to economics, business, society, all are influenced by our Hindu belief systems and faith. You know, India is one of the highest saving nations in the world. Even this year, last year it was 29%. For the last more than 10 years, it always used to be more than 30% of our GDP. Why? Western nations only 2%, 3% of their GDP. Because every father, every mother in India feels that it is her duty to save as much money as possible so that children will get better education. Or they will do start some entrepreneurial activity for the future generation. So this is the reason why savings are high. It is not just Indians in India alone save. Wherever our people go, if you see the last 15 years of World Investment Report, it says Indian NRIs are the people who are sending the largest sum of money to their home country. It is not Chinese, it is not Mexicans. Last year it exceeded $100 billion. Can you believe it? $1 billion is about 8,300 crores. So this is how even today our Hindu faith, our Hindu belief systems, our Hindu traditions are protecting us. And for the last 30 years, we have been taking up studies in different parts of Bharat. I would say that during the last 70 years, 60, 70 years, all our economic development is largely, mainly because of our Hindutva in practice, Hindu belief systems. So if we see the entrepreneurship, I was mentioning even yesterday.
Just to complement his view, many old people in my age will remember we were derogatorily called the Hindu rate of growth. Actually, it was Nehruvian rate of growth.
Yes.
Because the mixed socialist disastrous policy resulted in a growth rate of 2 to 3%. As soon as liberalization came, we saw the genius of Hindu. That is when the Hindu rate of growth actually shone to 8%, 9%.
Yes, you are right. But from the beginning, since we got independence, you know, I would normally say, when we started studying, we came to realize, even in Tamil Nadu, the actual seeds of entrepreneurship were sown in the 1950s itself, during the Nehru period. So when we were discussing with people, you know, our people never realized when we got political independence, they got full freedom, but they felt that they got economic freedom also. So without worrying about the government, they started doing something. So if you take Tamil Nadu, for example, the seeds of entrepreneurial development started in the late 1950s and 60s. And we know Tamil Nadu is one of the economically advanced countries, particularly Western Tamil Nadu. If you take, it contributes about 50% to Tamil Nadu GDP. We have about 12, 13 clusters in Western Tamil Nadu. Coimbatore, for example, contributing more than 1 lakh, 1.25 lakh crores annually to the GDP. Tirupur contributes about 75,000 crores to GDP. So all these towns, local business centers, industrial centers, they contribute.
You forget NBFC, chit fund.
Yes.
That is Tamil Nadu's contribution to small scale businesses, loans and all that. That is, chit fund is the actually, they have been reserved by Tamil Nadu.
It's a mechanism.
That is the first NFBC, as they call it, non-banking NBFC that we see today, and they were banned actually.
Yes.
But still it flourished.
Chit fund, I don't have time, I would have explained otherwise. Chit fund is not a financial mechanism alone. It's a socio-cultural mechanism. You know, once in a month or once in 2 months, people assemble. And this is not just for economic purposes, even though the main reason for all of them joining is for saving funds. But they make it as a socio-cultural program. How? You know, every month, you know, they will go to every other person's home. So monthly they will go there, they will have a feast. So it's not just economic activity. They will connect society and culture. And there are interesting stories about how this chit fund culture has played a very important role, as Ratanji mentioned, in South India, particularly in Tamil Nadu. But apart from that, we should also know our local societies, local communities, they have evolved their own funding mechanisms. For example, in southern Tamil Nadu, a particular community called Nadars, which is a very powerful trading community, they developed a mechanism called Mahamai. Mahamai means wherever they settled down or even their own villages, for every 1 rupee, they contributed some 10 paise as saving. Because in those days they were Palmyra toddy tappers, they did not have much money. So they wanted to mobilize funds. They developed this mechanism. They go in front of the Amman temple because Amman is their deity, Durga, Kali temple. So they take a vow and then they contribute this fund. And that is how they've evolved themselves into a business community. And today they are one of the largest business communities in South India. And you know, one of the most successful banks in India, Tamil Nadu Mercantile Bank, was promoted by them. And there is another interesting story. It will take time. Till about 5 years back, Tamil Nadu Mercantile capital was just 28 lakhs. But you know how much was the reserve? Normally, I'm a finance teacher, we will say, if you have 1 crore capital, you can have 1 crore reserve. If possible, 2 crore reserve. That is theory. But in India, in Bharat, it is not the case. In this particular case, 28 lakh capital, but reserve fund was 150 crores. That means even if the company starts earning losses from next year onwards, for another 300, 400 years, the company can survive. So that is the mindset of our people, and that is how Hindutva is being practiced in business and economic activities. This we have to understand, particularly the youngsters should know. Hindutva is not just a philosophy, it is the very soul of our life. Not just social life, not just cultural life, it is the very soul of our economic life. This is what differentiates Bharatiya economy from the rest of the economies in the world. This is very, very important.
In fact, one thing that we must note is that the institution of family, it is one of the strongest pillars of Hindutva and of our society. Outside Bharat, family institutions are crumbling, that is why society is crumbling. We are surviving because our families are surviving. The entire attack on institution, marriage and family is to destroy the society. I think that lecture was taken already yesterday, but it touched me because that is part of Hindu culture. The reason why we survived in COVID, because elders were part of the family.
Yes.
Where the elders became part of government, they died. Because the youth who was to save them, volunteers, they ran away. So that is the importance of family.
Yes. When Ratanji says family, you know, we have seen that in all our studies. Women, mothers and sisters, they play a very, very important role, critical role. Grandmothers also play a very critical role in all the Indian economic and business activities. This is also one that we have to understand. Anyhow, we have to go for questions, but before that, I want to mention one point. Here, unfortunately, in Tamil Nadu, we have political leaders. They are in power. They are in power. You know, a dynast, you know, who became the deputy chief minister only because of his family. He says that he is going to treat Sanatana Dharma like malaria, dengue. So we have to eliminate it. Otherwise, it's going to be very difficult. And there is
destroy malaria and dengue, you need strong body.
Yes.
They are not strong enough to destroy the body of Hinduism.
And in this Dravidian narrative, Ratanji, they have created an ecosystem where everything came only because of the British. This is highly unfortunate.
No, in fact, DK came because of British.
Yes,
because they picked up the story of Aryan invasion theory from British, and that is how DK was born, that is how DMK was born. So very basis of their existence is British.
Yes, DK is the new version of colonialism. So we have a speaker of the assembly. It's highly unfortunate. You know, he goes to colleges and universities, and wherever he goes, he says that British, particularly the missionaries, Christian missionaries, gave education. How unfortunate. This is the land of, you know, sages and saints, Thiruvalluvar, Kambar, Avayar. This is the land which produced Sangam literature.
If you read Dharampal, he talks about the education system in Tamil Nadu and West Bengal.
Yes.
And Tamil Nadu, the beautiful tree, and Tamil Nadu was the biggest center of learning, and
yes.
Majority, 70% of the students were OBCs and SC, ST. Yes. They were not Brahmins. So even that story is false. Your Shola king itself, they are also OBCs so-called. So it's all false story, but we'll stick to our topic.
Yes,
so
yes.
We'll open it to the audience because I have to know how you look at Hindutva from Tamil Nadu perspective, from being, Tamilians and we North Indians trying to impose our Hinduism on you and all that. So I
Yes,
look
please.
South Indian, but I'm North Indian.
No, we are all Indians from the north and south, east and west.
So please, floor is open. You can ask questions. Somebody can give a mic there. Please be brief. Whoever wants to speak or ask questions, be brief, because as I said, I have written 1500 pages of RSS philosophy, but I'm trying to put it in 15 minutes.
Yeah.
So definitely I missed out many things, but then surely you can please add something, but be very brief.
I just want to add one thing regarding this economic topic we are talking about. We are talking about crowdfunding today. The crowdfunding is nothing. It has been in existence since Hindutva was there, I apparently believe, because in the weddings in South, especially in Tamil Nadu, we have something as Moi Eluthirathu. This is crowdfunding in basic philosophy of Hindutva.
Yes.
This has started a long time
In
back.
our villages, when marriage happens, even UP with you, he will, he will tell you, we have this system of people putting in grains in the house. They'll bring milk to the house, they'll bring grains to the house, they'll put 2 rupees. Now, of course, 2 rupees not, but even during childhood, they used to put 2 rupees. All that was to fund the marriage of that particular family.
Exactly, that's what
is
I'm
there
talking
here
about.
Must be there in UP also. So
It is there
we
everywhere.
say
So this, with new terminologies, we are talking about new theories which has been in existence in Hindutva.
Well, if they can rename pranayam, they can rename your crowdfunding. No great.
Okay.
Yes, I think first question is always difficult. Yeah, please.
Arun?
Can you, we've recently seen the RSS name being bandied about not by, let's say, Pannoon, Gurupatwan Singh Pannoon and all the others guys, right? RSS seems to be the common whipping boy in a sense. How do you see that, and do you see a gradual, over the last 10 years, a gradual acceptance of the term Hindutva in a more benign manner in the West, or do you
Two
still
different
see
questions.
Two different questions.
So let us
Yes.
do first question
Okay,
first.
fine.
Actually, it is, when I talking to the person who brought me in, he didn't know anything about Sikh religion. He didn't know about Punjab. So to answer your question will be a little bit difficult, but I still try to explain. My bhabhi is a Sardar. That is my elder sister's wife is a Sardar, Sikh. We are not. My cousin married to a Sikh woman. His son also married to a Sikh woman. So till this generation, marriages with Sikhs and Hindus are not different. They are at the same family. In fact, the first son of the family used to be dedicated to the gurus, Sikhs, to be part of the family, to be part of Sikhi tradition, because we needed martial people who would fight, because Khalsa was a army. So that dedication used to be there to give the first son to Sikhi. So secondly, I've written a book on Guru Nanak Dev, and where I mentioned that Guru Nanak Dev's teachings come from Vedanta. They don't come from Quran or from Bible. Guru Nanak Ji knew about Islam. He went to Makkah. He had debates there, but he has never used Muhammad or Quran anywhere in his Guru Granth Sahib or in his dealings. He has talked about Sufis. So this is a branch out of the Vedic tradition of Hindu Dharma, that is Sikhi. It became martialist when the 10th Guru Gobind Singh Ji decided to, he knew that there is no other way but to wage war. So he created a Khalsa army. That is when Panch Piyaras from 5 corners of Bharat were baptized and they became Khalsa. Khalsa is purest form of Sikhi. Till that time, there was no compulsion of wearing a kada or pagdi or all that, nor not cutting your hair, etc. It became after Guru Gobind Singh. So that is the Khalsa army. So we should not mix Khalsa with Sikhi. To say that we are separate from Hindu is not correct. Yet the religion is different, but coming from the same branch. As I said, every family in Punjab would have relations or family members in the Sikh community also. Now coming to more serious issue, why Pannu and all are afraid? Because during last separatist terrorism of 1980s, the effort was to create a wedge between Sikhs and Hindus. So they would selectively choose Hindus to kill them, or as we call monas. We call Keshdhari and monas. Monas who don't keep hair, and Keshdhari have case. So that is, now he is a Keshdhari actually, sitting there, not wearing pagdi of course. So this Keshdhari, so they would go in a bus, but send out the, take out the monas or Hindus, and they would just fire and kill them. So this went on trains, and also the idea was to create a wedge, but RSS continuously waged a ideological war, saying that we are not separate, we shall not be divided like we were divided in 47, and we are same people. So this philosophy continuously explaining Sikhi to people, how we are one, how our roots are same, is something that Khalistan didn't enjoy. Who is this MP? Tiwari ji, Manish Tiwari. Once I was talking to him, I gave my book to him, and he is from Punjab, and he has worked closely with RSS people also. He said during one of the track to diplomacy talks, the Pakistani said, we did not succeed in Punjab because we could not divide Hindus and Sikhs. That is the reason we lost. Now we will not lose. So what they did from 1990 onwards, they created a huge intellectual base to somehow separate Sikhi from Vedic roots. So meanings of the scriptures are slightly modified. So where Guru Nanak says that the temples were destroyed and mosques were built, it has been replaced very, very, very innocently. Mosques replaced temples. It's very simple. There is no blood in that. There is no destruction in that. Similarly, Dasham Granth, which is written by Guru Gobind Singh Ji, he did not add Dasham Granth into Guru Granth Sahib. He said that is done. I'll keep my Granth separate. That is called Dasham Granth. That is slowly taken out of the Sikh religiosity. It is not narrated. It is not taken out during processions. Only Patan Sahib has the original Dasham Granth, where Guru Gobind Singh was born. Even everywhere else, some chapters have been removed. Typically, Vichittar Natak, where Guru Gobind Singh sings praises of goddess Durga. Those parts have been removed. People don't know, people don't talk because people don't want any kind of clash. So idea of all this 30 has been to somehow reduce the base of connect of Hindu Dharma with Sikhi and somehow promote Islam as something unique, monotheism. But monotheism of Islam and monotheism of Sikhi is very different. Monotheism, Sikhi doesn't want to kill others who don't believe in monotheism or, not having a face of the God. But what has happened recently when the movie on Guru Nanak Dev was made, some extremists stopped it saying Guru Nanak ko aap dikha, you cannot show Guru Nanak. But actually that is not true. What Guru Nanak Dev said was typically Nirakar Bhagwan. But they said no, you can't even show Guru. Although all those paintings are there in every Gurudwara, every place. So there has been strong effort to somehow reduce the connect with the Hindus, and of course I'm very sorry to say that a new generation of Sikhs don't identify themselves as Hindus. So that's a big victory for the separatists, and that is the reason they hate RSS, because RSS, despite accepting that Sikh is a separate religion, they say we are united, we are from the same family and we are family. So for example, that is the reason I gave example of my family. This is true of all the Punjabis. So this is the root cause of their being angry about RSS. They believe as long as RSS, BJP is there, they cannot break this totally, the Sikh and Hindu. I should not even say unity, it's a family. I can't even say you need unity, but the effort to separate them is very strong now. Even some of the bhajans are not sung. What is called, they do kirtan, they have removed some of the dohas which worship Krishna or Rama. In some places they don't read last few pages of Guru Granth Sahib because it praises Ram and Krishna. That is the kind of poison that is being spread.
But everywhere in their songs, Krishna, Rama.
You say, but when you go to those ragis, they have been instructed not to sing ragas about Krishna and Ram. If there are Hindus in the assembly, they will sing. Otherwise, they will avoid. That is slowly how this poison being spread. And unfortunately, I said Sikh youth today doesn't feel so connected to Hindus. I cannot share some of the stories where the youth feel totally alien to the Hindus today, and even in Punjab, which was not happening in 80s, 90s. So its situation now is much more difficult than it was in those times. Sikhs about 60, 50, 60, they are still believe they are part of Hindu society, but the younger lot, because of the 30 years of indoctrination, the way they have modified the narrative of Sikh religion, this is happening.
Sir, do you see the grand Hindu Sanatani movement being reduced to mere celebration of electoral victories?
Why do you say so?
The
I don't even want to answer that.
No, last 10 years, much could have been done, and there are things which haven't been
Try
done.
to understand this. For hundreds of years, Hindus have been treated as second-class citizen. After independence, also we have been treated as second-class citizen in the guise of saying, you know, you're a good boy, so you must behave. That other boys are living mischievous. Let him play the mischief, but you are a good boy, so you must always accept. We must always tolerate. We must always take anything that comes to us, including constitution, what has been done. I will not get into details. We know that. So now after 2014, suddenly Hindus, that the resentment that was building, or the work of RSS that was trying to remind Hindus of their greatness, of their religion, of their civilization, has flowered now. 2014 saw the first result in the way of a complete majority win for a so-called Hindu party, though it's of course doing more for Muslims than anybody else. But it's a Hindu party, all said and done. Now that pent-up anger is what is coming up. So it's not that we celebrate BJP's victory and believe that this is Hindutva. That is not true. We know that civilizational battle is very different from what a political party can do. So till we wake up as a civilization, that see, 2014 was a landmark when that we saw the display of that Hinduness. That we saw the PM going to temple, we saw PM inaugurating a temple, etc., renovating, reinventing those cities and towns, which brought that strong sense of pride in us that, okay, we are a Hindu civilization. That awakening is a result of Mr. Modi being there, the PM. As a political party, there are some compulsions which RSS or you or me don't have. So unless we really reform the society, we really understand the new way of what Hindu society could be, this could be temporary phase. It is not necessary that you will keep on winning. In 10 years, maybe the number of seats that are influenced by one particular community will increase. So at that time, a so-called Hindu party or party which at least respects Hindus, doesn't treat them as goons, at least that party will have to fight only 370 seats to get the majority. You get the point. So Hindus also have to realize that BJP may not be the best answer. It may not be the Hindu party going with orange, saffron flags everywhere, shouting everybody down, down and all that. But at least they don't kill Hindus. At least they will not go against Hindus. They will do something good for the Hindus while doing good for others also. In that sense, there is a huge change. But to believe that only electoral victory is Hindutva, I am sorry to say that RSS wouldn't work for 100 years, that was the case. To get Hindu to this level has taken 100 years. Or if I said 2014, 90 years. Imagine. So 1000 years of slavery has taken us 99 years to bring Hindu to that level where they said, okay, this is my party, this is my nation, I own this nation, I am responsible for this nation, I must do good for the nation. That change in thinking about the country and their own duty for the country itself. When Modi ji says give up certain things, people give up. Why? That sense of ownership has come. That is the biggest change that you see. For small matters, you should not look at petty things or we have not done this, we have not done that. But what has been achieved? In 10 years, he has taken a 90 years backlog of hard work by RSS and others, all great saints and sadhus. But before that, there is a huge backlog. So it will take time.
Sir, Namaskaram, sir. This Khalistan is an imaginary land, actually. It is not an original thing. So we should not use in our discourses so that the Sikhs is associated with the Khalistan and then they're using that for their advantages. So I feel we should not use this word in our thing. We should call them a terrorist, actually.
See, we are fighting an ideological battle. Then you should not call communists because communists are not communists anymore, right? Then they should have Lahore. They should have major part of Ranjit Singh's territory was Pakistan. So let's have it. Or they can build a Khalistan in Canada, no problem. It can be built anywhere. But you're fighting a ideology of war. You cannot shy away from words. You have to fight terms with terms. You have to fight words with words. It's like, I will not name my husband, but he is my husband. ऐसा नहीं चलता है ना. है तो है. So that is why we have to name the enemy. Just like we name communists, we name Dravidist not Dravids, because Dravid is the words used by Shankaracharya, right? So you know all that, so I'll not get into that.
Is there any serious difference between RSS and BJP? Or RSS will back?
They were never one. But, I mean, BJP, RSS are two different entities. As long as we see BJP and RSS separate, you will have very clear thinking. When you start mixing up BJP, RSS, then you have a lot of confusion. It's a cultural organization. It works in every field. Some of its people also work in BJP. RSS is a field force of at least 1 crore people, I would say. Out of which, how many people are in BJP? Active people? 1 lakh, 2 lakh, 10 lakhs? Nothing. So that is why, as Guruji used to say, the work outside politics is much more bigger than in politics. When we think politics is everything to do with the society, as long as politics is there, nothing else is required to be done, that's not wrong. Politics is a very important part of power. It is also a very important of change, power, tool of change. But change comes from within. The societies that survived Islamic invasion, there was no RSS. It is that Hindutva that saved them. The way they ran their villages, the way they ran their pathshalas, the way they ran their schools and industries, very decentralized way, that is what is the strength of the society. When we attack that, the way British did, then that is how they actually reduce our strength. So we have to rebuild that strength. Parties will come and go. Tamil Nadu is surviving in religious life, despite being DK trying to call us malaria and dengue. You don't stop going to temples. Despite they're destroying many temples, Hinduism is not going to die down. But they are trying to do it, that we have to understand.
Their own family members are seriously going to do it.
But see, that is problematic actually, till we realize that this show of going to temple doesn't make you a Hindu. I always say that, see, religion can be personal affair. Hindu dharma and Hindu as a society cannot be personal affair. That is to be understood.
Namaskar ji. Whenever we discuss about Hindutva, it is always, we are defensive. It's seen as a negative thing, like Oxford says that it is imposition of hegemony by the Hindus over others, or fascism or Nazism, and particularly in Tamil Nadu, it's Brahmanical supremacy and these type of words. All our discussions, we are defensive. Why can't we be in a position to say this is what? Because we say it's a way of life and Supreme Court definitions, and to the next generation.
Sir, first 15 minutes of my discourse only defined what is Hindutva. I didn't use any negative term. I did not defend it. Right? Did I defend? I just stated facts.
Correct.
Right?
But when the term...
when somebody attacks, you have to defend.
Exactly.
Now, why we don't attack? My question is, what are we doing here? In Tamil Nadu, you pray to our Kartik Bhagwan, right?
Correct.
But you don't pray, you don't like his younger brother Ganesha. You don't like Shiva, his father. Is it rational?
Absolutely not.
So do attack on their terms. No, why do you want to attack on sensitize or whatever? In your own Tamil, that's the biggest fallacy. Your own Tamil Sangam talks about Indra and Garuda and various, Rudra and various gods. But we say, no, Tamil is different. They don't respect Chola because he built Brihadeshwara temple. Is it logical? So you in Tamil Nadu have to answer in their language. It doesn't. So we have so many aspects of Hindutva, but do you want to get bogged down by irrational people? We have to respond in their way. We have to show that actually what Periyar said was all, BS. Because he's totally relying on colonial narrative. What is his narrative? What is DK's narrative? So when you ask me to define Hindutva, I simply made some statements, right? To build on that, you have to look at what is happening in Tamil Nadu, for example. What is happening in Tamil Nadu is not happening in Maharashtra. So each area, each place, you have to find your own local idioms to fight them.
Captain G, you used Oxford, this Encyclopedia Britannica, they recruited a group of scholars about 30 years back. Encyclopedia Britannica, and they have come out with a long report you can go through. It says, its members are not from Hindu community alone, Hindu Dharma alone. They are Christians and from other religious backgrounds. It says Hinduism is the most tolerant religion in the world, and it explains So you please see encyclopedia.
In my own book, I have actually a chapter in Evolution of RSS book, full chapter of expanding scope of Hindutva. So Hindutva is not static. The definition of Hindu is expanding every time. So you can read that chapter and you will find that I have answer to that also. Last question, time is up. Yeah, please. There are two
We
people.
are running really short of time.
Yeah. We can talk outside.
Yeah.
Thank you so much.
Thank you so much,